How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel and the video review of the Taranis QX7, the digital telemetry radio system by Frsky. Let's go ahead and open up the box and check it out. We have some sticker decals by Frsky and the instruction manual. It is also downloadable on their website as well. I'll leave the link in the video description for the Frsky website. There's the foam cover here. And there you have it. We have the neck strap, the telemetry system Frsky painted on there, and it says Taranis. Really nice neck strap. And we also have the little neck strap clip for your transmitter as well, that screws on with a Allen screw on the top there, so we'll screw that on later. And the transmitter itself, there you go, comes in this nice foam cutout, really nice to carry it around with as well. And here is the transmitter, and it is wrapped around with this nice plastic here. Get rid of that. And there you have the new X7 Taranis Q transmitter. All right, so here it is, the QX7, and the first question I had in my mind is, how does it feel in your hands when you grip it both sides and put your thumbs on it? I am a thumber, so I usually put my index fingers right on top of this bumper area here on the X9D, and right away it is perfect. It fits really nice, and there's these big rubber grips in the back which my fingers are contouring right around, and it is odd that they made it into an angle like this, but it works perfectly for your fingers to grip. As you can see, my middle finger is just right there contoured around it, so it is very ergonomically designed. Now, because I'm a thumber, my position is with my thumbs on the sticks, index finger on the bumper area right there, and 3 fingers in the back. But if you are a pincher, you will probably bring up your middle finger up on top of that bumper area and pinch. And check that out. My other finger is taking over that one spot where my middle finger was, and it is a very nice grip indeed as well. So it is really nice design ergonomically, even though it is cut like a stealth fighter, kind of angled instead of contoured. It works really nice. Now, the antenna is a 90-degree flippable antenna and 180-degree rotatable one, so you can adjust the antenna angle to your flying style. And as you can see, there was a lot of real estate right on top of that bumper area where my finger can rest, and that is because there's 2 switches missing. So this X7, the QX7, has 6 switches and 2 rotary style dial switches or knobs, and you got the 4 trim buttons there, like the X9D, and as well as there's the page button here, the exit button, and the menu button. And on this side we have a rotary dial button combo, so you can rotate it and press it. A combo style button that is really nice, replacing those 3 buttons on the X9D. So that is really cool. Looking at the top of the transmitter, there's 2 ports right here. That is the earphone jack port, as well as on the other side the trainer port jack. And If you look on the bottom, there is a rubber flap there. You see the marking there, kind of run it through the light reflection, and one of them says SSD and the Firewire logo there. So when you open that up, we have 3 ports, in which this one here is the mini USB port, and that is used for upgrading and also reading and writing to your micro SD card, as well as the internal memory, and for connecting to simulators as well. Now the port in the middle here is the micro SD card port, and the SD card contents can be downloaded at the Frsky website, the default package, and that is what I have downloaded and inserted in here via a 4 GB micro SD card, just spring loaded, and you put it in there. The Taranis doesn't come with a SD card, so you'll have to provide your own and download those contents. Otherwise the transmitter itself will not speak to you. You'll have to put it in there yourself. Now the port next to it, as you can see there, there's 3 little pins sticking out, and that is called the smart port, and it is for future development, the website says. So we'll have to wait and see what that can be. So let me go ahead and close the rubber flap, and that is all of the ports for you. All right, let's go over the specs of the Taranis QX7. It has up to 16 channels, and it can take 2 to 3S LiPos, and it can hold up to 60 models in its memory, and of course you can add more via the micro SD card, and it supports a telemetry and external TX modules as well. The Taranis XD models are compatible with this transmitter. It comes in black and white models. I have the white one, of course, and to power on the Taranis, you just press the button here once, a short press, and you are powered on.
Throttle warning,
Of course, and SD card warning and all that. Now to power off, you have to down hold this power button for a few seconds until there's these 4 bars that registers on the LCD, and now it's powered off. So no accidental power downs on this transmitter. Now the gimbals here feel the same as the X9D, but I am told that it is slightly different in size, so they are not compatible. It is the ball bearing type gimbal, so that is pretty cool. I am used to using the X9D, and the feel is just about the same. All right, as you have noticed by now, the transmitter comes shipped with both of the sticks with equal springs on both sides. So it does not have a mode 1 or a mode 2 already. So you will have to fix that by going to the back of the transmitter and opening up the back door and adjusting the tension, whether you are a mode 2, which the throttle will be on the left side, and if you are a mode 1, then your throttle will be on the right side. Both of these are spring loaded here, so go back in there and they show you how to unscrew and loosen up that spring tension and tighten so that you can use either side as the throttle. So let's go ahead and take a look at the back. The back, we have the external module compartment, and when you open it, it is basically the same size and everything as the X9D external module. There's the familiar 5-pin connector there, and I do use the external module for the Orange RX module, and that is for like DSM-2 quadcopters that have the DSM-2 receivers. So I use that, so that is really nice. So I can use my Orange RX module on this transmitter as well. Now let's open up the battery bay compartment here, and this one was shipped without a rechargeable battery, so you will need to place in 6 AA size batteries. And I don't know if I like it. I kind of like to have the rechargeable battery so you can charge it up every day when you come home, and the next day you will have a fresh battery in your transmitter. In this case here, I don't know how much battery life unless I look at the voltage on the LCD display. So sometimes I don't look at the LCD display, and maybe the battery may be low. It does give you an alarm for it. You can set the alarm, and that is really nice. But it could be a good thing where you can just carry some extra AA size batteries and put in as you need it on the road if you cannot charge your rechargeable battery. But some may like it and some may not, and I am one that don't really like the AA size batteries. I'd rather have a rechargeable battery myself. So let's go ahead and put that battery bay door back. It's a pretty hard insert there. So let's go ahead and open up the back and see what we got inside. Okay, I have unscrewed the 4 screws that you need to take the back cover off, as well as I took off the covers for the module and the battery compartment as well, which you will need to take off to access the final 2 screws that are on the bottom there. So let's go ahead and lift off the back cover very gently, and there is a power wire connected to the balance plug right there, so you want to undo that very carefully. If I can, it is pretty hard to do with 1 finger, so do it with 2 fingers there, and there you go. The 4 screws drop down, and here's a look at one of the screws there. So you got 4 of those screws holding down the back plate of the Taranis, and here is the internals of the beast. Wow. Well, to tell you the truth, this will be my first time opening up one of these guys and taking a look. I have opened up some toy grade quadcopter transmitters before and mounted the antenna, but never a complex remote control like this. It's really nice. The way I see it, everything is tied down and held very nicely. Even the buttons are held down. It doesn't fall off like some of those other ones that I've taken apart. There's the antenna there and the antenna wire, and it is, I don't know if it's soldered on there, but it's just hot glued to hold it from coming off. So that is really nice. And there is the earphone and the trainer jack, as well as there's a battery right here to keep everything up to date, I'm assuming. There's the micro SD card slot, and there is the 3 pins there already in place for the S or the smart port for future development. And here is the mini USB. There is the battery plug right here. So what you can do, because it is a 2S balance plug port, you can probably use one of the 2S batteries, like the one I have here. This one came off of the Tarantula quadcopter, and it has the 3-pin 2S balance port, and I'm assuming that it will fit right in there. So yes, that will fit right in there. So if it fits in the back of the housing in the back in here, then I'll be able to use this. So let's go ahead and try and take this baby out, and this baby just pops right out, and the cord or the charge cable too right there. So if I can just replace it with this, and voila, it is deep enough And let me see if I can close the cover. And yes, it fits flush. I'm not going to push it all the way in, but it fits it. Oop, I pushed it right in. All right. And I am thinking you could probably go a little bit thicker than that, as you can see there. And the SEMA X8 batteries are pretty thin as well, and they are a lot bigger than this. This is a 1200 milliamp. I believe the SEMA one is a 2000 milliamp, so it'll probably give you a lot more time with the transmitter. And I will be able to use this as well as probably the SEMA X8 battery as well. So that is really nice. And that you can unplug it, because when you put the cover back on, and when you put this cover back on, you got to watch out for those the external module pins, those 5-pin. You got to line those pins up just right to put the cover back right on. And as you can see, the balance charge port, or the plug, is visible there. All right. A little bit of good news. I was able to put my SEMA X8 battery with the banana plug tucked away in here, so you are able to use one of these batteries if you've got it. Okay, so I'm a mode 2, so what I want to do is adjust this gimbal so that this becomes the throttle, and as you can see, it is springing back to the middle. And the two screws that you want to adjust is this one here, which when you hold this down, you see how the stick becomes loose like that. All right. And as well as this screw here, which holds the tension of this spring. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to tighten this screw here. Okay, so let's check that out. So it's a lot looser, but there is still a spring coming back. I'm going to tighten it a little bit harder. Oh, look at that. Okay, now what we're going to do is loosen up this tension on this spring here so it doesn't stay stretched. So that should be about right. And look at that. It's freely moving now. It is too much freely moving. It doesn't have any of those clicking. So what we need to do now is adjust these two guys here. What these two guys do is it gives more friction to the stick movement. So what you need to do is tighten this one up a little bit to give it a little bit of restriction, or if you like it loose, leave it just the way it is. And this one here, which has a little indentation, and on the inside there's little notches, so it gives that clicking as you're moving it back and forth. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten this one here a little bit. Let's go ahead and tighten it up. Oh my God, it is already tight. Okay, let's see. Nope, no feeling there. Okay, the bottom one is tight. It's the top one that is a little bit loose, as you can see there. Let me bring it to the middle of the shot here. Okay, give it. Nope, I don't feel any of that clicking. A few more turns. Nope. Oops. Okay. You can hear that. There's a little bit of clicking now. So I'm going to do a couple of more turns and that should do it. Nice. And I'm going to tighten it just a little bit because it is pretty loose. I think that's pretty good. There's still, however, right at the tip, top and the bottom, there is a little bit of a spring back. So I'm gonna tighten this baby all the way. There you go. There, now it goes all the way. And loosen this baby up a little bit more to get rid of the springiness. And that should do it there. There's still a little bit of kickback at the top. Give it a little bit more tightening. I think that's about it. Yeah, I think that's pretty good there. Let me feel it from the opposite side. Let me go ahead and bring my X9D for comparison. Look, it stays all the way up and it stays all the way down. And it has more of a friction too. So I'm going to give it a little bit more friction. Tighten that baby up a little bit more. Still has that little bit of a springiness at the top. I don't know if I can unscrew this anymore, but I think that is as far as I can take this, guys. That's as far as I can screw that clockwise, and this is just about as far as I can go counterclockwise. Okay, so now I'm going to give it a little bit more tension. And a little bit more tension on this one as well. There you go. It stays. All right. All right. I think I got it just the way my X9D feels like. Yep. Perfect. Now I can close up everything.